Good morning, afternoon, and evening. Welcome to session 5 of Devign Talks, Ingenious Ways to Work Faster, Smarter, and Healthier. It's our last session before Christmas, so we're trying to get in theme here. Thank you all of you who are joining during this holiday period. Many of you are away, many of you are busy spending time with friends and family, so if you're watching now, we really appreciate it. This time, it's our last time with two speakers in the lineup for the session, so it's kind of our last big one before we wrap up next week. So thank you again for being with us here today.
You said we're trying to get into the season, but I'm wearing a blue shirt.
I see a mildly red trim on that picture frame behind you. It's pretty good. That's right.
Perfect.
You've got the full
So I'll get started with some quick housekeeping items again this week. If you haven't already, join us on discord.gg/web and join the live discussion channel. The URL is below on the screen, right? Right, Ron? Right?
It is coming now.
Boom! There you go. All right. So we'll also be choosing, like we have in the past, a random participant for Discord Nitro. And then we'll also be choosing up to 3 people for Reddit Premium at the end of the talk. So be sure to stay active in that live discussion channel. And I'll use those usernames to select from the pool. Also in the live discussion channel, you'll obviously have the opportunity to discuss and talk with other people. But I'll also be monitoring that channel for questions. I'll be collecting those questions, and we'll have a quick Q&A after each individual talk. Then we also have another speaker lined up for next week on December 27th. So you can visit redditweb.dev/schedule to learn more about that speaker, what they're speaking about, and when in your time zone it will be live. So I'll hand it back over to Ron to introduce our first speaker for today.
Well, our lightning talk today is a very meta talk. It'll be going deep into the prototyping mindset, the semantic web, and alternative web workflows. And for those of you who are tuning out to the word of meta, it's the OG meaning of the word. It's a deep, abstract dive into it. So I'm very interested to see what that means for us all as developers and designers. With us today is Marko Marinkovic. Hello, Marko.
Hello, guys.
Welcome.
Okay.
Welcome.
Nice to meet you.
Likewise.
Nice to meet you as well.
So, Marko, I know that you spent 10 years researching this, and this is kind of the magnum opus that you're developing over a series. What's that journey been like? How did it start, and what's made you give a talk now?
Yeah, it started as a simple need for a small agency to have simple tools to make a website that has, that's not of medium quality, but that is of high quality. And we didn't have these tools. And then we started to inventing our own tools. So actually, we wanted to cover all the subjects or the topics that comes into a good website, and that gives the freedom, like to do whatever you want, actually. And the subjects of information architecture, user experience, and so on. So yeah, this led to very interesting results after this decade.
It sounds like it's a concept of, if you want to do it right, do it yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right, good.
You remember I told you that I became developer just because I wanted to make one website.
That's right. That's a lot of our journey. Some of us started just wanting to style a MySpace page, so I can feel you there.
Yeah.
All right, Marko. I am very looking forward to hearing what prototyping mindset means for us and the semantic web. So I'll let you have the stage. Enjoy.
Thank you very much. So our topics today would be about prototyping, semantic web, and invitation to join me in the upcoming series of discussions on these subjects. And my goal here is to give a high-level overview of why should we develop a prototyping mindset at first place in our practice and actually the way we should do it. So yeah, also I will explain why should we design through a perspective of semantic web, because by combining and merging these two and applying a prototyping mindset through a perspective of the semantic web could open up like an ocean of new possibilities for all of us. It's literally the source of inspiration that can enhance our creative potential. So we end up with better content that is more structured, better information architecture that leads to a better user experience. And all of this can make, at the end, feel us be more productive in general. So let's first address the question about why designing for the web is so challenging, actually. And to better answer the question, let's compare it for a second with other kinds of design. So if we take, for example, industrial design, like designing of cars and devices, or architecture, or design of clothes, or print design, like if you put them like this all together and ask the question to what is common for all these kinds of design, the answer is they are all expressed through mediums that are static in their nature. And what I mean by that, the appearance, the representation of these designs in the real world is predictable, so to say. So no matter how many times the intention to render a design into the real world, the output, that resulting object, the product, so to say, will always be the same. And a user would be accessing it the same way. So we can say we'll have a predictable user experience. And put it simply, we've been designing for the static mediums for ages, and the web has changed all of that. So on the other hand, web is highly dynamic and unpredictable. And the challenge of web design is to communicate the idea or concept that we want to share with the world through a dynamic content on different kinds of displays and output devices to different kinds of visitors. So a dynamic content that comes from various databases, external APIs, and then processed through a conditional logic, served to a different kinds of displays with various screen resolutions, even browsers and operating systems also, and output devices, including screen readers. So all of this accessed by users, like with their user preferences. They all have user preferences and to different kinds of disabilities that these users have actually. So what this means simply means that we have to take many things and technologies into a consideration from the start of a project, and like it's a huge burden. So let's see now how we deal with this complexity nowadays. Now in our workflows, what's currently a mainstream, like what we do, like we design for all this complexity in a way that we move from linear waterflow processes, like being more lean, being more agile. Now we are more iterative, and we use powerful tools such as Figma, Sketch, XD, and similar. And there we create various simulations for our projects in form of mockups, wireframes, prototypes of various fidelities. We are also building modular systems of components, and we can in general feel that we are pretty much advanced with our processes. However, some people see the problem with this, and the problem is no matter how advanced our design tools, what we end up with at the end are purely static images. So yes, we can click on them and move them around, but they are still just static images. And Matthias Ott calls this our illusion of control. So he says, we are still drawing pictures of websites. We are still tackling a flexible medium with the static tools and linear waterflow processes of the past that can't represent the inherent nature of the web's ingredients, because we are always creating static abstractions of the final medium. This leads to tedious, inefficient, and highly ineffective tasks, wrong features being built, and most importantly, because we spend most of our time doing the wrong things, the quality of the experiences we offer our users suffers. So he puts an idea that we should explore the materials of the web to work out their characteristics, which then shape the design patterns of our system. And that the best tool we have for that so far is prototyping. Prototyping as a tool? Well, yes, but what kind of prototyping? Well, the prototyping that uses web ingredients, that uses the web itself as the material to build with. So he described this idea in the following way. For physical products, certain technical and aesthetic qualities like structure, surface flexibility, or durability characterize the nature of a material. And for digital products, similar qualities can be explored. How flexible is the solution? How robust is it? How well does the solution work in different contexts? How much interactivity does it have? Does it allow growth? How performant is a certain framework? How flexible is CSS methodology, and so on? And to assess all those qualities, we need a tool that is just as approachable, just as flexible, and just as extendable as the web itself. And this tool is prototyping. So put it simply, the goal is to come up with a functional prototype that actually works, that is not a simulation, in order to test and validate our assumptions as early as possible. So, of course, assuming that even the best of us could do it a lot wrong during the design process. So that could be a possible advice on how to deal with this complexity and why the prototyping mindset would be important to keep in our practice. But what we see on our screens right now is not the complete image of a landscape. It's only one arm. Actually, we have two arms. And not only humans, but also machines become users of the internet. And these little friends in the upper right corner are going to become our customers anytime soon. And they will consume our content through a semantic understanding. So in the era of Internet of Things and semantically rich websites, so let me just put a quick example. For example, our smart refrigerators would know how to buy food for us online. I'd say, for example, that I want to prepare some Italian dish this evening, and it will check if I have all necessary ingredients, and if it's not, it will pick up from the internet for me. So what we'll want to design these experiences for machines, because just like humans, they are in need and become able to more and more understand our published content. And we have actually a name for this kind of web where content is meaningful and consumed by both humans and machines. And the name is Semantic Web. And it's good to get familiar with this term, as it's a core idea behind the web that we designed for. So Sir Tim Berners-Lee, the creator of the World Wide Web, coined the term himself a long time ago, actually. So on the left arm of this diagram, we realized that we have to address the needs of disabled people and make our websites accessible. We realized that we have to be inclusive also. And now on the other side of the spectrum, we have an equivalent demand, and to put it in a funny way, not to discriminate and make the content accessible to machines too. And the good thing is that this part of making semantic understanding of our content is in our control now. We have at our disposal semantic dictionaries that we can implement in the form of structured data. The most famous one is schema.org right now. And we can talk to machines about our products or services or events, articles, like whatever. And we have a chance now to include it in our design process like not to leave it as a consequence of a development, but to include it in the design process. So having in mind all the current progress and the evolution of related technologies and a global infrastructure in general, it's a good time. It's a good timing now to bring more awareness about these topics. So in his article, Developing for the Semantic Web, Frederick O'Brien makes a strong call to our community. He says, I put it to you that structured data is a really important factor to understand and implement in the coming years. It doesn't just improve your chances of ranking highly for relevant queries. More importantly, it helps make your websites better, opening it up to all sorts of useful web experiences. So I'm really excited about all of this. But from the other side, in all its beauty, this adds even more complexity to an already complex web landscape. And the answer again could be a prototyping mindset. So with this in mind, I would like to introduce you to a new idea. We call it momentum. It could be described as an environment. So I would like to put a few perspectives on what kind of environment it is. So it's an environment for a prototyping using exactly materials of the web. Now, the most fundamental material of the web, as we know, is HTML. But there's a lot more when it comes to it. So let's see what's in there. So here we talk about a new kind of prototyping that involves HTML along with semantic dictionaries, dynamic data modeling, libraries of inclusive design patterns, and innovative content design system based on information quantity. So now the idea is to put GUIs, graphical user interfaces, over all these aspects. And in this way, as you can imagine, we would drastically broaden the range of available designing decisions, actually, because many things that are now considered the part of development are put right into the hands of a designer through a GUIs. And if we are developers on the other side, it means that we could do more stuff with less efforts. So the idea follows that on top of that, imagine there we have a completely open CSS and JS editors. So we can write custom styling and interactions there. And this way would have freedom to use CSS preprocessors or to integrate our favorite frameworks or libraries. So imagine it's something as a code pen, except the HTML part is automated and composed in a completely visual manner through various GUIs. So there are dozens of perspectives to describe what this kind of environment is and what it could offer. So let me just put quickly a few of them. So we can say it's an environment that could help us enhance our information architecture practice. We can say it's an environment that could let us quickly test and validate our designing decisions. We can consider it as a highly modular Lego set made of graph database that works in synchronization with semantic dictionaries and modular front-end CMS. And it is all controlled via user interfaces. So we get a software that sits next to a content and unlocks a new level of web workflows. So with this in mind, I would like to invite you to join me in the upcoming series of discussions on exploring alternative web workflows. And during the course of the series, we will build a small website project from the scratch. So just a quick overview. In session 1, we will define the scenario and requirements, potential user stories. We are going to write some HTML code to prototype content model entities. And the goal is to demonstrate the problems related to a current prototyping workflows. Then in session 2, we will dissect a piece of HTML artifact that we got from the session 1, and we will use it to come up with concepts that make fundamental building blocks of momentum environment. And finally, in session 3, I'll demonstrate a proof of concept and show how this kind of environment unlocks new level of workflows and enables us to switch our mindset and think in different contexts. So a lot of adventures and experiments from the lab in front of us. And yeah, feel free to join, of course. So to get updated with the schedule of upcoming discussions, you can direct message me on Discord or follow me on Twitter or subscribe at themomentum.io. Thank you.
Thank you, Marko.
You're welcome.
We do have a question for you if you're willing to field them.
I just lost sound.
Oh, sorry.
Now I can hear
Am
you.
I coming through? Oh, great. We're just saying we have a few questions if you're happy to field them, Marko.
Sure.
Yes. These are excellent questions by the smartest person in the room, I think. No, I'm joking. These are just my questions that I have. So, what are the main concepts that differ when designing for machines rather than humans? You posited that we're branching off, and your goal is to kind of design for both systems. Like, what are we missing by only focusing on the human side?
Well, we are missing, so let me just put the general overview of the market. For example, Internet of Things market. Like by 2020, there was kind of 8 billion of devices connected. And by 2030, this number would be tripled. So we'd have some 25 billion of IoT devices. So actually, what we are missing is to pay attention to all this development of new markets. And actually, we have a chance to now include semantics more than we do in our content. So actually, this is what could be the answer. Like, we should design with semantics in mind.
So, it might just be that I'm dense and I don't quite understand the difference in what we currently have to what you're proposing. So, like, are we not designing for humans? Are you still not designing for humans who create and design and enable these machines, these Internet of Things to consume stuff? And that, like, at the end of an Amazon Alexa is a person who tells Amazon Alexa what to do. In your example, the refrigerator. Like, I'm telling the refrigerator how to interact with the semantic web, right? Like, I'm saying, yes, I authorize you to buy spaghetti sauce. So
we will delegate our search needs to machines, and they will do the stuff for us. So we'll put the burden off us.
So how in our current way, like RESTful APIs, like that's how we communicate with other machines, if you will. Like, what's the difference that you're positing here? Like, how is the development world shifting from what we've been doing to this view that you have in your mind?
Yeah, actually, with all this, I talked to Ron. Actually, we are exaggerating with usage of JavaScript, and the web is not intended to be a JavaScript itself. Like, now we make everything JavaScript. Like, Web 1.0 started like read-only, and then Web 2.0 like appeared from this need to have interaction with the web. And now we made everything, like we put everything into this interaction and exaggerated. So we have to get back to the core ideas behind the web. And the semantic web is not something new that is invented yesterday. It's with us like 2 decades already. So yeah, you see, actually,
so you're getting back to the roots, is what you're.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
A box of socks says that he likes this guy. He also asked the question, how much time would you spend prototyping?
how much time do I spend prototyping?
Yeah, or again, with if we were to adopt this new environment, this new concept that you're positing, how much time would you say that a developer,
The
system
idea
designer
is
should?
the idea is to keep the prototyping mindset in all aspects, actually. So when we speak about prototyping, like we refer to these softwares that we use, like as I said, Figma, Sketch, XD, but actually the prototyping should be a mindset that we should apply in all aspects. So not only in designing, but also in developing. So the thing is that as soon as we get the functional prototype that actually works, we come to something tangible that we can actually test. So that's the thing.
How does that differ from the? How does the prototype differ from the finished product? Like you're saying like functional prototype, product A. What's missing between prototype and product A?
A lot of stuff. Like the prototype is just we can say by quotes something that works. So that something that works is not a complete product. Like the end product would be something that, let's say, from the perspective of development, if you just go with something that works, you will be in huge troubles because you don't have tests that cover all of that. That is not still adequately tested. So you see the difference is in this way.
Mhm.
Okay.
That makes sense. Now, we're going to wrap up now, but one last question for you. This is over 10 years of research. You've distilled it into 15 minutes for us. And as a final challenge, what would be your elevator pitch for this? So 10 years into 30 seconds.
10 years into 30 seconds.
Yep.
Actually, that's a huge challenge. I actually had
Of course.
a challenge to put it in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I can totally believe that. I can totally believe that. It'd take an hour just to really
But
dive
actually,
deep into it.
I could put it in a functional content first prototyping and a new kind of web design and development environment. This is somehow.
Wow. 11 out of 10. What do you give that, Vivo?
12 out of 10. Functional out of prototyping.
Absolutely.
I just as just an aside, I like your word mark, your momentum swoop. It's very creative. I like it.
It rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, it's
Marko,
a case for the future.
Absolutely. Where can the World Wide Web find you, Marko?
Yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn, Twitter, like wherever you want. Yeah, you share this. I'm on all social networks except TikTok.
All of them.
I was gonna say, what's your TikTok? No, I'm not on there either.
Anything against?
Are you on MySpace?
No.
No, there you go. There you go. That's one to add to the crop.
And if you go to the momentum.io and click the subscribe link in the bottom right, you're going to share how to watch those future discussions.
Yes,
correct?
exactly. If you subscribe, like you will get notified when this first session 1 starts. So
sounds good.
Feel free.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for that. I wish you luck in the next part of your series. Thank you for the intro. And yeah, appreciate you sharing with us with the meta prototyping mindset.
Yeah, it was nice to be with you.
Likewise. Thanks again, Mark. Till then. All right. Again, you see at the bottom of our screen that you can join our Discord channel to ask any questions of our speakers, to follow up with anywhere they can be shared. So yep, we encourage you to drop in and you have a chance to win Discord Nitro and Premium as well. Now, our last full talk for the session is one that we can all relate to. It's finding enough time to look after our personal well-being when we've got all these developer and work requirements coming at us. And we often think about these as mutually exclusive things, that we have to sacrifice our time with friends and family in order to work better on our projects and at work. But not only is our next speaker going to show us that they're not mutually exclusive, he's going to show us that by working on your personal well-being, you actually become a more productive developer. And you can even use the skills and knowledge you've got from work, in this example, agile methodology, to structure and manage your personal life. So please welcome everyone, Vikram Ingleshwar.
Hi everyone,
Hi,
this is
Vikram.
Vikram here. Hey Ron,
Absolutely.
hey Bebo, how are you?
Very, very well. Now, for those you comfortably sitting in New York or likewise at 1 p.m. or in Europe around 6 or 7, Vikram's very kindly joining us at 1 a.m. Is that right?
I know it's 12 o'clock midnight.
Oh, 12 o'clock midnight. Yeah. Close to it. But so thank you for joining us, especially around this holiday period where everyone, like we said, with personal well-being, spending time with friends and family.
No, it's fine. I'm really happy that you and Bebo has given me chance to speak with everyone and share my learnings. I hope everybody will get some learnings from my side and yeah, they will improve upon it.
I'm
I just
very
want to
excited.
say, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say I was very excited about the merging of, like tech and, so on one hand we've got well-being, on the other hand we've got, developer environments, and you've managed to merge them too by using agile methodology on personal life. So I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, and I was going to say that just the premise that you posit in your talk's title, that family life well-being for maximum productivity, the fact that your family life's well-being, it pushes you to be productive in your work life, I think is something that rings true very much for me. If things are going well with me and my family, between my wife and I and my kids, I feel a lot more productive at home, or not at home as well, but at work. And then if that's not going so well, it's very hard for me personally to focus on work. So I like the merging of those two.
Definitely. It's very important.
And I won't spoil too much, but Vikram, you also had a newborn not too long ago, about a year ago. What's that been like?
Frankly, first couple of quarters they were really crazy for me. I was not sure how to prioritize things, whether to prioritize my time with the newborn or to my work. But I'm very thankful to my wife because we had discussion. Then I had to reprioritize my task. Then I cut back some of my work. I think from last one quarter, it's going on quite well. The newborn is sleeping well, and I'm able to manage my time. The most important thing is setting expectations properly. Uh, I mean, if earlier I was working like 8 to 10 hours, can I continue working like that? With that, can I support my wife? If not, can I cut back my work hours? Uh, it's fine. Maybe for few years we will earn less, but I will spend that quality time with my family, with my kid, because those are really precious moments, and you're not going to get back even if you
100%.
pay like billions of dollars.
Amen.
100%.
Yeah, so those kind of adjustments you have to do at this crucial moment of the life, and
Absolutely.
these are the things I would like to share with the community.
Well, I believe you that you're definitely the right person to go to with this. I believe you that you've struggled through this and you've learned from it, and we're ready to hear
Yeah.
from you. All right, Vikram, thank you very much. We'll hear from you now.
Sure, I will share my tab so I can show the PPT.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, oops. Sorry. I would like to see the notes. Let me retry. Sorry for the confusion. I'm Using this first time. Share screen, Chrome tab. Presenter view. Can you see my PPT? Hi. Hello everyone. So good morning, good afternoon and good evening. This is Vikram here from India. Today I'm going to share the stories of a 40-year-old guy with a 1-year-old kid and a wife, how I'm managing my personal and professional life. I hope all of you will find this interesting and get to learn something new. I would like to thank Ron and Bebo for giving me opportunity to speak with you all and share my experiences. Yeah, so even though I'm 40-year-old, I think this talk is going to help if you are 20, 30, and of course you are 40. So basically, I'm going to talk about my mistakes in my earlier life. So how did I overcome those? Uh, so what things I learned and how I'm adjusting my new life with the kid. Um, please feel free to post your questions in the Discord chat, but I'm going to answer those tomorrow morning IST time because it's I'm not comfortable answering questions and giving presentation. Yeah, but I will promise I will answer each and every question. And in case you feel uncomfortable asking question in the community forum, please DM me. But I highly encourage you to please go ahead and ask any question. Yeah, so let's get started. Yeah, so this is me. I'm 42-year-old. So the talk is divided into two parts. The part one, I'm going to talk about my 2 decades in IT. So why did I shift my career from QA or SDET to an entrepreneur? What are the challenges I faced in a startup and how did I choose a decision to become a developer recently? So I'm doing development job from last 1 year. So this portion is about 25% of the talk and remaining 75% I'm going to focus how I'm currently managing my time, prioritizing tasks with respect to family and career. Okay, so let's get started. IT or the software industry was not my first career choice. Frankly, I joined software industry accidentally. My first career choice was something else. Yes, this was my first career choice. I wanted to join Air Force because during my young days, I saw the Top Gun. I was really impressed with Tom Cruise. I was very good with the maths, physics, and sports, but I couldn't join the Air Force. So, first lesson what I learned in my earlier stage of life, even though you have sufficient talent, if you do not have access to proper information or proper resources, you cannot achieve your goal. So you have to come out of your comfort zone to achieve your dream goal. Okay, then I moved to my second career choice. Yeah, he was my childhood hero, Sylvester Stallone. Yeah, yeah. Then I thought, okay, let me decide. Let me join Indian Army and do some service for my country. I would like to share a funny incident. During my interview, I was not able to speak couple of sentences in English. I mean, not only couple, I was not at all able to speak in English. I am from a small town and I did not study in English school. The funny thing, the British have left India 70 years back, but still English is ruling India. I was not aware. Even though Hindi is our national language, army expects you to be really proficient in English. Yeah, so the second lesson learned in my career is know who is your exact boss and what he or she likes. Then it was 2002. I finished my college. I have to do something. Um, so this is the choice I made. Okay, so this is me sitting in my cubicle doing something on my computer. Yeah, so I was an accidental software engineer. I joined IT in 2002 as a software testing engineer. Then I learned some programming skills to do the automation. That was earlier stage of IT in India. We were getting a lot of outsourcing work from US. I do not complain about this job as a QA or SDT, but frankly, over the time, I felt it is not really innovative kind of job, and I was not doing um, something which is I'm really passionate about. And but it's fine. It was the job was paying my monthly bills. I was able to achieve some financial goals for my life. Yeah, but frankly, other than my Yahoo years, I was with Yahoo India for 4 years. Those were like dream come true for a young boy in IT. I really enjoyed, but remaining years it was more like just making sure the money is flowing in the bank. So this is my story of how I joined IT. So, from my experience as a QA engineer for 16 years, what are the demerits of QA role? So, first of all, the QA salaries are quite less compared to developer salary. The developer gets 2 to 5 times more salary than QA. And other shocking thing is the QA role is considered as low caste work. In India, we had a caste system, which I really don't like and is a really bad thing. And sadly, British have used it to divide and rule Indians using the caste system. The bad thing is, still today, the many companies they think QA role is kind of low grade work. Anybody can do. There is no need of some innovation to happen. So the attitude towards QA is really bad. I got a chance to work in Germany. We were in Germany for 5 years. I got to work in two nice startups there. But even there, I was shocked to see the attitude towards QA. There also, in company meeting, our CTO used to say, "Okay, don't care about." Okay, this CTO was quite famous guy in Ruby community, and he was like, "Okay, don't care about customer data or customers, just care how to increase the daily active users." Yeah. Being a QA from day one who really worried about missing out a bug, it was a big cultural shock for me. So I decided to stop working as a QA and do something else. By that time, me and my wife, we decided to move back to India, and we worked on our startup for a couple of years. We learned a lot, but the COVID situation came and we couldn't raise funding. Then I decided to move as a developer. In couple of slides, I will share how I learned development, and then I will remaining three-fourths of the talk. I will share how I am managing currently my development career and the family career. If you are in US, there is a startup called chef.com. Our business was similar. I highly recommend the viewers in US to try out this startup. It's really nice. It's empowering the women who are at home. They are able to monetize their cooking skills. Yeah, so this was my part one, in which, frankly, I did not have any control on my career or on my life. I just gave it to somebody else. So this is where part two has started, where I have taken deliberate decision. How can I control my own destiny? How can I choose my own career path? So remaining three-fourth of the talk is going to be on that. Yeah, this is the lesson I learned. Okay, this is a quote from Rocky Balboa movie. So life is all about challenges till the end. So you have to find out how will you overcome the challenge without losing the battle. In next couple of slides, I will talk about my developer journey, how I become self-taught developer without spending too much of money on costly boot camps. During my startup journey, I wanted to raise some seed funding, so I have contacted exactly 750 venture capitalists across the globe. So that time I used to check their websites, they had job openings, and I got to know these are the jobs which are high in demand. Web developer, backend developer, full stack, mobile data analyst. By the time we realized, because of COVID situation, it's very difficult to raise funding. We had a smaller user base. I made a choice. Okay, this particular decade, I wish to work as a web and mobile developer for next 10 years and retire from IT and do something, some work on some other projects. So I picked up a career. So I suggest, if you are a new beginner in developer or development, or if you wish to shift your career to this high in demand development work, pick one of these because they are in really high in demand, and I'm sure these jobs will stay for next 10 years. I started learning from Free Code Camp. There are a lot of nice YouTube videos. I googled for free articles. I joined online meetups. Those really helped me to start picking up those development skills. I can say my earlier 16 years of SDET role has helped me as well, because I was coding with Ruby and Java. So that also helped me with picking up JavaScript, HTML, CSS. I will share a couple of techniques which I still use during my day-to-day life, which helps me to be more productive and avoid getting burned out. So first is Pomodoro technique. So what this technique says, you concentrate on a particular task for 25 minutes without any distractions. Let's say you are working on your coding project. So without any distraction like mobile, Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, just work on that single task for 25 minutes. Then take a break of 5 minutes. You can do anything in that 5 minutes. Then again do the 25-minute single task. Again take a 5 minutes break. You have to repeat this cycle 4 times. Then you can take 15 to 20 minutes break as per your convenience. Then again repeat the 4 cycle. Currently, I follow this religiously, and it really helps me to stay productive and doesn't feel burnt out at the end of day. I can do personal work as well as professional work with this Pomodoro technique. I highly encourage all of you to try it out. The next best technique which I learned is using flashcards. So I realized once you have more responsibility, let's say with respect to your family, you have a lot of things going on in your mind. Uh, so you are not like you're in your college days where you have only one thing to do, just study. So if you want to pick up new skill, you can use this flashcard technique. It's a scientifically proven that our brain cannot digest all the new information in one single go. You have to keep feeding the new information again and again. So it's called spaced repetition. With the flashcard, you are basically feeding the brain the new information in a periodic interval. So this also helped me picking up new skills and being more productive. So this is one more technique I highly encourage to use in the day-to-day life. So after I learned JavaScript, HTML, CSS, React, and React Native, before starting applying for job, I spent a lot of time building projects myself. This has given me a lot of confidence that I can do the real world job as well. Plus, if you have projects in your GitHub, you can show it to your potential new employer. Yeah, I would like to show this quotation from Martian movie. Yeah, so basically you have to break down big problem into small chunks and start finding a solution for those small problems. This way you don't feel, okay, I have to solve big chunk of problem. So you start solving small problem. By end of day, you will be done with the that particular project or with that particular problem. So next thing is because of COVID, everybody is working from home. How to find a job? But luckily, there are n number of jobs for good web developer, mobile developer across world. So I am going to share some of the resources which I used to find remote job. You can make use of this to find your dream job. Plus, if you Google, there are a lot of other resources as well. So what I found out when I started my development journey, the world needs good doctors and good developers. Currently, world is short of both of these professions, and sadly, our education institutes they are not able to produce good doctors nor good developers. So it's up to the individual person to pick up the skill, be good at it, and find his or her dream job. So this is how uh, I learned web and mobile development sitting at home with the help of online resources. Then came our first kid. Don't worry, this is not my family. I just took a picture from internet. This is one of the Indian family. We have only one son, and we are planning to have only one son. So yeah, I'm not planning to have such a big family. Now the big question was how I'm going to manage my career with one kid. Uh, Frankly, first couple of quarters were really tough for me. I had to make sure I'm taking care of our son with the help of my wife, plus I'm taking care of new job. So it was really a mad world for me. I did not know how to cope up with the new way of life with the son. Yeah, so basically, what I understood, life is all about continuous process of adjustment. You have to find a mean path to adjust both your family front as well as your professional front. Because if you give more importance to one and you ignore other, it's not good. It's going to basically it's you are going to do injustice to one of the things, either career or family. In next few slides, I'm going to share the techniques which are really helping me to manage my time well enough with my family plus my career. Okay, agile technique. We all know agile technique. A lot of the startups and big companies they use agile in their own way as per how it suits to their needs. I started using agile technique in my personal and professional life. So what I do every week, I come up with this top 10 task that consist of professional plus personal priorities. Then I get it reviewed with my wife. So basically, sit down and we review. Okay, these are the things I would like to achieve next 1 week. So we normally have discussion and we come to a conclusion, and we reprioritize the things. So first thing what I did is I cut back my work hours from 8 to 10 hours to currently I work like 3 to 4 hours on my professional task, and remaining hours I manage to take care of our young kid. Now he's 14 months old, to take care of our family needs. Yeah, and this is really helping me. I'm not feeling that much stress compared to first couple of quarters. So I highly recommend to start using the agile technique in your day-to-day life. It really helps to look at the next 1 week task without getting stressed out or without knowing what to do. The next thing which helped me is this 12-week year concept. I recommend to read a book called The 12-Week Year. In that, the author has mentioned uh, if you want to be productive, you plan a particular quarter. Every year has got 4 quarters. So you do not plan for the whole year, but you plan only for that single quarter. So that way you are more productive and you can track the progress or any difficulties you are facing. So what I started doing, I have quarterly goals for personal and professional front. And based on those goals, I create the weekly agile plan. So I know what I would like to achieve for, let's say, Q1 2022. And I stick to that plan. So this is one more technique which is really helping me to be more productive at both the personal and professional front without really getting stressed out or burnt out. Yeah, the next thing is exploitation in IT. It's a sad reality. As I learned development, so basically I have started my journey again from scratch, like in 2002. Initially, it was really difficult to find an internship role. I was looking for entry-level engineer or internship. I got really bad experiences. Some companies they try to exploit. They say, okay, you work for free or you work for a very small amount of money, which is not good. So my suggestion to the people who are entering into the development world, please avoid the imposter syndrome. I know it is very difficult to overcome this imposter syndrome. Most of us we have it. We think we are not good at particular skill, but when you have put so much of efforts learning uh, this really difficult skills of web development or mobile or data science, you know you are much better than majority of the crowd who doesn't know the basic things. So please avoid the imposter syndrome. As during your learning phase you have developed a lot of projects that would have given you confidence, please show it to the potential good employer. And I can say even the senior developers who are in the industry, still they Google. Nobody is perfect. And the funny thing, from my IT life, I would like to share a story. I, even today, I did not find a developer who says other developer did not write spaghetti code. And that's really interesting. I worked in India uh, for the US companies. I used to interact with my colleagues who are in US. Then I went to Germany. I worked with European colleagues, but nobody's really perfect, right? Everybody is a human being, and everybody does mistake. So have your own value. Avoid this imposter syndrome. That's my main takeaway. And please avoid the exploitation. Yeah. So other important lesson what I learned in my 2 decades of IT, life is not a race. For it's a very difficult thing to digest, and I realized in late career. So it's life is all about a journey. You get new experiences. You keep on learning. You keep on improving. but it is not a race. Uh, so if you want to enjoy and stay productive, please avoid the rat race. I really like this quote, which is applicable to most of us. Majority of us, we spend money to impress somebody uh, who we don't really like, or we just want to show off because we are part of rat race. So what I suggest, please avoid it. You build a relationship with the money so that it gives you freedom. So use the money to get a freedom, not to show off to other people in the society. I encourage you to read a book called Psychology of Money. That's really beautiful book. In next few slides, I'm going to share some of the books which I refer quite often, which helps me in day-to-day life. Yeah, so please avoid this. Who has got bigger? You can fill in the blanks. Who has got like bigger car, bigger house, bigger bank balance? It's completely wrong. Please avoid this. You do introspect what you are good at, what is your capability, where you can reach. This is the list of top 10 wealthiest people in the world. Uh, just ask yourself, do you have that capability to reach the top 10 spot in the world? If you don't, then why do you want to be part of rat race? If you cannot join this exclusive Lions Club, don't be a part of Vulture Club who are fighting for a small piece of dead meat. Please avoid it. This really helps you to enjoy your personal and professional life. Understand your limitations and your capabilities well enough. This is very important slide for me. When I speak with my friends and colleagues, what I understood, most of them, they do not have clear goal, clear financial or personal goal. What would they like to achieve? When will they stop working? Let's say if somebody has got $1 million in the bank, will he stop working? Will he or she will stop working? Nobody has this clear answer. So when we had a son, I spent a lot of time to answer these questions, and it helped me to come up with the plan. uh, so how long I would like to work in IT, and afterwards what I would like to do. So what's my personal goal? Majority of the time we compare with others. If I reach that particular position or that particular salary, I will retire. It's not good. Don't compare with somebody else. Have your own personal goals. You can answer these basic questions to reach those goals. So in my case, I would like to stop working in IT by 2030. So by that time, I would have reached 50. So I have a particular amount in my mind. If I reach that amount earlier, I will stop working in IT. So I have clear goals, what I will do post IT. I have plans to work in education sector and environmental sector for rest of my life. So have these goals for yourself, which really helps you to set expectations properly and manage your personal and professional well-being. This is for me. This is most important slide. Okay. Um, so I will tell you how you can make money. Um, there is one more book I'm not able to recall. It's called 80-20 rule. You put 20% of the efforts to get the 80% of the result. I will share the secret formula with you. How you can make millions or even billions in next 5 to 10 years. Yeah, if you want to retire filthy rich like this guy on the beach, I have a formula for you. It's a proven formula. It's not like investing in some dog coin and waiting for Elon Musk to tweet about it. Okay, wait for the formula. I'm not going to reveal immediately. I'm quite good with the statistics and maths, and I do stocks investment since last 2 decades. If you can Google this particular article, you can find how I came up with a program which gives me list of stocks based on which I do investment, and I'm able to outperform the top mutual fund managers in India. So this is just to show that I have found that secret formula to make millions in IT. So what is it? Okay, just one more thing, one more click before I reveal the secret formula to you all. You can check this LinkedIn article where I have posted how I have contacted 750 venture capitalists to raise some seed funding. When I was analyzing what kind of companies the VCs invest their money, what kind of companies they become successful, and what kind of companies they fail to go after a particular stage, I concluded the particular category of companies they become super successful. Either they go IPO route or they sell it to some big company. For example, how what Instagram or WhatsApp did. Yeah, so this is the formula. If you wish to retire super rich by making few millions in let's say next 5 to 10 years, find out a good startup which has raised Series A funding. Um, so if you analyze all the startups till today which has become successful, I can say almost 95 to 98% of the startups are successfully raised Series A funding. It means they have reached that threshold. Beyond that, uh, the startup rocket leaves the Earth gravitation, and yeah, it can go on its own. So it's a sure shot formula. If you join as one of the employees in Series A funded startup, and you have earlier stock option in that startup, you can be sure to retire with good amount of money. You can find out that yourself. It is quite interesting formula, and I'm sure I'm I'm 100% confident this works, and even I am finding to join one of this kind of startup after 2 to 3 years when my once my son is quite old and I can spend more time working 8 to 10 hours a day. Let's say you have a million. What are you going to do with that money? You should have a plan in your mind. So this is from another book which I refer quite often. This is from Zappos ex-CEO, Delivering Happiness. So you should have a passion and purpose. Then only you can make a profit. Otherwise, you end up like that office space guy sitting in a cubicle, not really enjoying the work, simply waiting for salary coming end of the week or month. So have a passion and purpose, it will result in really good amount of profit. Okay, so what are the mistakes I did first 2 decades? I did not read any books. Once I finished my graduation, I was really bored of reading books. So that was the biggest mistake in my life. So I suggest to read at least one nice book every month. If you do not have time, you can listen to audio books, or there are a lot of nice YouTube channels where they give summary of nice business and personal development books. I highly recommend to keep listening to such kind of YouTube videos. I'm going to share some of the books which I find it very useful and I refer very often. This is the first set of books which I refer very often. This is the second set of books which I refer often as well. It's really surprising how the great knowledge across the world from the authors that is combined in the books. When I passed out, I did not know that there is a need to keep improving yourself personally and professionally. I completely ignored it, and it definitely hurt me in my career and professionally. Uh, but from last 2 3 years, I started reading books. I kept aside some time to read at least one book every month, and that is really helping me a lot. Okay, so we are coming towards end of the presentation. As I mentioned during the talk, I wish to retire by 2030 by making some amount of money by working in a Series A funded startup. But what will I do with this money? Let's say I have $10 million. Definitely, I don't want to retire beach side. Let's imagine yourself sitting on the beach for 1 week. What will you do after that? You will be really bored. So you should have that purpose in your life. What you will do with that money. So as I mentioned earlier, I wish to work on some educational projects and environmental projects. Yeah, so the journey really never stops. It's a continuous learning till you are alive. Okay, so we are reaching the last slide. If you Google, you can find my LinkedIn profile, or you can search by my name. Yeah, please send LinkedIn invite. If you have any questions, you can ask in the Discord channel. And in case you are not comfortable, please DM me as well. Yeah, I'll be really happy to help you. Plus, if you are interested to know which are the top 750 VCs I have contacted, I will definitely share, but I will charge a small fee because I spent a lot of time in my entrepreneurship journey. Yeah, so again, I would like to thank Ron and Bebo for giving me this opportunity. And I hope you have learned some new techniques and new things out of this talk, and you will implement in your day-to-day life, and you keep improving upon those. Yeah, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Vikram, for that.
Hey.
Yeah, I think the thing that hit out for me most was that it's good to have a plan of when you'll quit the industry. I think that's something that most of us don't think about. We're just always thinking about what's the next ladder, step in the ladder, what I have to work on, what I have to improve, and what's next in our career, but not necessarily what's the end. So that really struck out for me.
Thank you.
For everyone watching, as Vikram said at the start of his talk, he will be answering every question you've left in the Discord channel. So if you have any questions, even if it's after this session finishes, do drop them in that discord.gg/web live discussion channel. He will be answering all those questions.
Is that in perpetuity? So in like 3 years, someone watches this and has a question.
They can, if I'm around till then, who knows what could happen. And that channel doesn't exist. Just ping me, and I will track Vikram down. If the internet's down, I will catch a plane over there and ask him in person if that's what it takes.
Even if it's the year 2050. That's service right there.
Exactly.
I can take few questions if there is some important question. I have. It's fine. I can answer some of the questions if something.
Yeah, unfortunately, we'll have to wrap up for this session today.
Okay.
We wanted to give everyone time to finish their full talks, and I'm glad I stuck to the end and saw all your movie references. But yeah, so make sure you drop in that link. It'll be in the description on YouTube as well. Once again, Vikram, thank you for joining us. For next week, we have one last talk session. It'll be the last one for the year and last one of the entire series. It'll be about I don't remember the exact title, but it's a lazy React toolkit for developers in 2021. So I know a lot of you use React, so that'll hit close to home. Do join us. We'll also be wrapping up after his talk and yeah, hopefully celebrate the incoming new year as well.
That talk comes just in time for the end of the year so that it's out of date for the following week.
I know, right? You should do that thing where, people sell, the best guide for 2022.
Yeah.
And they write that in March of 2021.
Yeah. All right. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'll let you head us out.
That's all right. Yeah, both of you, PB, Vikram, thank you for joining both of us, for joining. It's great to have you both, and everyone else, catch you next week. Enjoy Christmas.
Thank you. Merry Christmas. Bye.